please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
The Asian markets, the Nikkei is down about 0.4%. Some bit of weakness seen on the dollar yen.
In good quality stocks, you end up making money if you buy the fear. So good quality stocks should be bought.
My sense is the market is headed lower, including the large caps.
Okay, the first tick is still very flat. The Nifty at 10,657, 658. So that's 12 down. Rupee at 69. We've been long fearing that. So 69 was taken. Now 68.98 again.
We do believe that, we are not in a bear market, and we will hit 11,300 during the course of this year.
Power supply to any part of the country is ample and in abundance.
We saw a record overvaluation of the small and mid cap index to the large cap index in Jan this year.
We understand that the draft report by the bankers panel headed by PNB Chairman Sunil Mehta has been submitted to the Finance Ministry.
I think we've seen the government being very, very proactive. So the GST Council has been extremely proactive.
It's almost 50 points lower on the Nifty right now. We are down 0.4%. 10,624 is where the Nifty is at.
Brutal fall in the market, and it looks like we could be in for a really interesting last hour, because this has been a really crunching expiry for the bulls, and by the looks of things, especially in the broader market, doesn't look like the market is in a mood to relieve the pain anytime soon. This is Closing Bell. I'm Anuj. With me today is Ekta. Hi Ekta, good afternoon.
Hi Anuj. Well, it is definitely scary. Today is expiry, but besides that, it seems as though the texture of the market is extremely weak, especially for the broader markets.
Yeah, the broader market has been in a bear market, and that's something that we've been pointing out. I think it's the fact that the 3 or 4 stocks which were holding the index, they have started to sort of cave in now. Bajaj Finance is a clear example. To a certain extent, even HDFC Bank, that's still in the green. But the way it's come off in late trade, the Nifty Bank, which has been the stronger of the indices, the Nifty and the Bank Nifty through the series were, clearly concealing the pain in the broader market. And that broader market pain just continues. Tomorrow you have, new margins, higher margins kicking in as well. So, I don't know, the last hour could really get interesting. Again, not a market in which you want to average your B group stocks, because they're being taken to cleaners. I think the number of stocks hitting 52-week low today will go well past the 500 mark. The fall is not coming on very large volumes, which is also telling you of a larger problem that we have. The depth is very poor right now in the market. You sell 10,000, 20,000 shares, the stock's hitting circuit. And just take a look at intraday moves in a stock like Indigo, for example. Just few thousand shares traded, and all of a sudden the stocks are down about 4%, 5%. And that's the problem with the broader market right now. The broader market had this problem. I think now even the Nifty and the Bank Nifty are sort of, as it called, just throwing in the towel right now.
So maybe the exit for a lot of people is becoming even more difficult for mid-cap stocks as compared to frontline. But Anuj, today is expiry. We are sub 10,600 at this point in time. We're probably going to be down around 1% for the Nifty, but a more sharper cut for the small caps and for the mid-caps this expiry.
Last hour could be really interesting, because right now the bears have all the ammunition and they would want to go after the market, with hammer and tongs. I think a lot would depend on, big names like HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. Let's see if, there's some kind of recovery. Today the way HDFC, Reliance, the big stocks are falling, it's not giving you a comforting sign. Let's see, crucial last hour.
Yes, absolutely. Well, for the Nifty, currently at around 10,566 or 67 as we speak, Gen Irrigation, KRBL, MRPL are just examples of the kind of fall that we're seeing from the mid-caps. But let's tell you what's lined up on the show today. Ahead of FNO expiry, we'll get chatting with Yogesh Mehta of Motilal Oswal Securities. We'll discuss the market fundamentals with SP Tulsian of sptulsian.com. Kuj Bansal of Sarthi Group and independent market expert Amrish Baliga will be with us. And as always, our technical experts will take you through what is a very crucial last hour of trade.
In fact, let's start with that. Ashwani and Mitesh with us for last hour trades. Good afternoon. Ashwani, that 1 to 130 rally looked quite, sort of trend changing, but that's been sold into, and how? What's the call for last hour now, and what about individual stocks?
See, basically, Nifty and Bank Nifty have now picked up momentum. For many days, you are used to, buying the dip, selling the rally, etc. But now the way large cap stocks are falling, I think those are the only stocks which are now left with people. And they are probably scared that even there they may lose profits. So anytime, a space or certain group of stocks where people are hiding, that also starts to shake. I wouldn't be surprised if you are in for a 200, 250 point Nifty decline from here. And, HDFC Bank, etc., everything tops out. So possibly HDFC Bank should have topped out. And from here, today is a good day to take positional shorts. High of today is a fairly decent stop. And now from a contracting market, I won't be surprised if we are now in a expanding market and we have lower levels to come in here. See, the buyers have vanished. The macros are against you. So all margins are going to be increased. Do you need more bad news? And particularly in a situation where the range was narrowing, contracting, I think this was kind of the perfect recipe. Having said that, for the day, Bajaj Finserv is a sell with a stop of 5,900, target of 5,750. Tata Elxsi is a sell with a stop of 1,310, target of 1,260. And BEML is a sell with a stop of 820, target of 785.
Okay, well, we have Mitesh Thakkar joining in as well. Mitesh, what would your last hour trades be? Stocks and index?
Yeah, so I think on the index, we were looking at a test of 10,590 once we started breaking below the 10,685, 700 support zone. I think 10,590 is also broken, and the next level, which I have in mind, is fairly lower at about 10,450, 10,425. So I think we are heading towards that. There can be a day of pullback, a few hours of pullback activity in the markets, but broadly it looks like that the decline is far from over, and 120, 130 points are still left, at least to begin with. Having said that, I have right now two sell calls. Federal Bank is a sell with a stop at 81 for targets of 75, and MGL is a sell with a stop at 812 for targets of 775.
Okay, a lot of mid caps under pressure now. Just pull out, for example, an intraday chart of Granules. I'm just pulling out this stock because this is the one where at least series 2 date there are some gains, and from tomorrow, of course, you'll have higher margins now kicking in. So obviously that's going to be an issue, and that's where perhaps the last long liquidation could be taking place. So that's just one of the stocks where there could be some last hour issues. There are others as well. Of course, it's working on reverse side as well for a couple of names like CG Power, which is up 9.5%. But Jain Irrigation, 9.5% lower on that. Jet down about 6%. Chola Mandalam down about 6.5%. SP Tulsian of sptulsian.com and Kunj Bansal also with us. Good afternoon, Mr. Tulsian. This is quite a bit of pain in the broader market. I mean, it can't be masked, right? Of course, there are reasons like F&O expiry. There's been added margins. Your thoughts on the big collapse that we're seeing in the broader market right now?
So, yesterday also I've said that probably because of this increase in margin and the cash settlement, in the 46 stocks which we will be seeing coming to an end with the June expiry, and all those stocks will get security settled, probably seeing this kind of pain. And I wish that this pain should come to an end today, and from tomorrow we will see the normalization of the things. One thing is seen, little baffling, is that the market is seen holding the levels with the support of maybe about 20-25 stocks. But I don't think that the same type of, because if you take a call on many of the stocks, which are seen moving up continuously. If you take the consumption theory, maybe like Nestle, Hindustan Unilever, Britannia, Godrej Consumer, I'm not saying that they are good stocks, but you have a value at some point, seen reaching at its point. Probably the same mistake was done in case of small cap and mid cap frenzy. At that point of time, nobody was pointing out that they are looking quite expensive. Probably once this risk hours will go away, and maybe the risk taking ability will come back. Probably you will again see the shifting start happening from the larger cap of these last 25 stocks maybe to the high mid-cap stocks. I'm not saying that the buyings will be seen in the small cap and micro cap. And at that point of time, probably, you won't be surprised to see the corrections again happening, maybe in the form of profit booking and maybe P contraction, which we have been seeing in case of Bajaj Finance, or maybe if you recall, couple of months back, Titan, when it moved to a level of 990 and it came to 830. And we know at that point of time at 990, we all relied on the consumption story. I'm not trying to say that the things are looking as bad, as it is perceived to be, or as it is seen reflecting now in the mid cap and in the quality small cap also. So yes, the things are seen quite bad, and the technical factors, value, the exuberance has made the valuation to ride its roof. But same thing is happening in case of the larger caps also. Maybe on a consumption theory, if you start giving a P multiple of 50, 60, 70, and the international, few experts, global experts are saying that even 80, 90 P multiple is seen comforting, I don't buy this argument. And maybe that I wish that this all weakness and the carnage which we have seen in the mid cap because of this technical factor of F&O increase and all those things should come to an end. You have mentioned about CG Power. I'm not trying to say that this is a good buy, but see the kind of shifting which we have been seeing. In fact, I was thinking that probably the open interest may not get shifted to the next series, but even for July you are having open interest of 3 crore shares already, which used to be at 4.5 to 5 crore in the June series. So maybe the rollover is happening now, knowing fully well that the margin is increasing. Apart from that, we have been seeing the good cash buying also. So I think all these corrections should come to an end today with the expiry, and maybe from tomorrow onwards. In fact, the increase in the F&O and margin and all that is seen to be quite healthy for the market, because many of the traders have gone complacent. They have created recklessly these open positions, which will now get reduced. So overall, I think that market is turning healthy, maybe by paying a big price for that. But I don't think that the concentration of the market in just top 20-25 shares, maybe like IT or consumption, can really serve the purpose, or can really last for a very long time.
Okay, well, besides granules, which Anuj pointed out, it's even Wockhardt, which is a part of those 19 stocks, and that stock too is down around 3.5%. IDFC Bank as well, which is extending its losses, so that stock should come up for you. Kunj Bansal of Sarthi Group is with us now. Kunj, hi, afternoon. A lot of these crude-related stocks, for example, aviation stocks, Jet and Interglobe, are down. How would you approach it?
So let's keep in mind that they were going up also continuously when the oil price was soft, had been coming down or was remaining low. And companies did benefit. If we look at the last few quarterly financials of the aviation stocks, they did benefit out of the lower crude prices. We all know that the ticket prices had not moved up as much. So I think it's time to be cautious on them. The oil price looks like continuing to remain at current level, even if one assumes that it won't go up further. And such a higher level compared to the low of $20, even if we keep this aside compared to, let's say, the range of $50-60 to currently at $75 to $80, the profitability would indeed get affected, and therefore it would be time to stay cautious on such stocks.
Okay, fair enough. Just look at these stocks now. Of course, Jen Irrigation down about 8%, Cholamandalam down about 6% right now. Also, IT is selling off today, especially Tech Mahindra, which has been one of the biggest gainers, down about 6% right now. So that stock also quite interesting right now. Ashwani, thoughts on IT? Infosys is still in the green, but there are a couple of others which are losing ground now.
See, we have to understand, if you are on Twitter, etc., you can see the pain of retail. So maybe some of that money is getting taken out because retail is now scared that IT may sell off, and also money will move away from India. So maybe there is institutional selling because IT is generally owned by institutions. So my sense is it's an overall market downside. If EMs are going to sell off, there will be a currency problem, etc. You want to get off EMs. So people don't really care whether it's IT or banks or what have you. Chances are once a sell-off starts, wherever you are making money, you tend to take it off.
Fair point. We'll take a break. Up next, we'll discuss the expiry as well. Yogesh Mehta from Motilal Oswal will be with us.
Welcome back. Well, Tech Mahindra is now down around 6% so low point of the day is just about breaching. It's also already breached its 50-day moving average, so watch out for that. Oil marketing companies have had it really rough this month, so that continues. HPCL, which is down around 4% as we speak, but even other stocks such as something like a Titan, which is at the low point of the day, down around 3.3% at this point. Mr. Tulsian, you know, Anuj had mentioned Granules India just a couple of minutes ago. It's down over, I think, 25-30% on a year-to-date basis. And now there's this additional exposure which will come through from tomorrow as well. What are your thoughts specifically on the business and the stock?
See, Ekta, I don't think that there is any point in taking a call on the business, because as I said that this stock also falls in the category of those 46 stocks, you know. So the trading positions adjustments, you know, are seen happening. And honestly, if you really ask me, at least, you know, no one can take a call that which way the stock should behave. But by and large, you know, we have been seeing this all kind of financing arrangements and, you know, the positions being given in the form of the comfort or maybe in the form of the hedging to the financials and all that, which we all know that these things are happening in a very big way in all these mid and small cap stocks. And as such, in spite of the pharma sectors, you know, per se is seeing some kind of renewal. And I won't say that I'm negative on the granules from the fundamental point of view, but it's very difficult to take a call only from that angle without, you know, without taking into consideration these technical factors also. So maybe allow this expiry to happen. Let maybe even in fact for first 1 week of July series, let's see that how these all stocks behaves. I'm not only referring to the margin increase, you know, which has been seen in case of 18-19 stocks. In fact, I'm referring to all the 46 stocks, you know, which will be seeing the security settlement going forward from July onwards. So those things need to be taken into account. Until then, I don't think there is any point in taking a buy call on these stocks.
Fair enough. Sandeep Wagle is also with us for some fresh trades. Sandeep, good afternoon. What are you trading?
Afternoon, Anuj. I would go with a sell in a Biocon, stop loss of 630, target of 603, and a sell in a Ashok Leyland that has lost momentum, stop loss of 129, target of 111. Okay,
Sandeep, thanks a lot for those trading ideas. Do we have Yogesh Mehta with us now? Yogesh Mehta is with us from Motilal Oswal. Today, of course, is F&O expiry. Yogesh, good afternoon. Ugly expiry so far. Thoughts on you know, whether you know, there is a last hour call from here as well, because it's looking quite weak actually.
Yeah, Anuj, good afternoon. Overall, this expiry seems to be very weak now, because since last 10 days market were in a very strict range of 10,700 and 800. And if we compare the last expiry closing 31st May 2018, it was 10,736. Today it is down by almost 1.5%. And Bank Nifty had given a highest point of closing at that point in time on 31st May, 26,956, and never been able to cross that. So it seems that now it is down to almost 2.75%. And the consolidation, post the consolidation breakout on the downward bias, it seems that market will remain sluggish for the next expiry as well from here on. And as per the option data, it shows that 10,600, 500 has the most of the concentration in the option writing in the puts, and call is 11,000 still intact on the in the July series as well. So that shows that 10,900 would be the ballpark high price maximum to the upside, but downside is open for the market till 10,350 odd.
Okay. Yogesh, hi, afternoon. But there's been way more pain in the mid caps and the small caps for this series.
Yeah, mid cap and small cap have already been you know, hammered down, and it's kind of a disinterest into those counters right now. And further uptick for these counters seems very difficult at this point in time. Probably it will take some more time to get you know, bottom out formation there. So far it is not showing any kind of a sign into mid and small cap.
Okay, by the way, the market's again trying one more attempt of recovery. Just look at some stocks. Kotak Mahindra Bank intraday chart. I mean, you've seen, of course, some of these stocks trying to bat for the bulls in between. So Kotak right now is trying to make a move on the upside. State Bank of India still in the red, of course, but just a bit of a move. NTPC has made a move actually. Let's put out the intraday chart of NTPC. That stock right now, in fact, that stock is closer to the high point. So there are a couple of stocks looking interesting. Okay, finally, Yogesh, for the July series, any interesting stock trades?
Yeah, for July series, we are recommending to go short. However, we are on a downward bias, and even the INR is also depreciating further. But still, it seems that pharma space, Sun Pharma seems to be a short candidate from here. Keeping a 590 as a stop loss target could be in the range of 550 to 540 level.
Okay, all right, Yogesh, we're going to let you go on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and talking to us. So that's the view coming in on the F&O expiry. But Mr. Tulsian, wanted your thoughts on what kind of approach you take towards, say, the IT stocks now. Techem is at the low point of the day, but Infosys is at a fresh 52-week high. Do you think that this kind of outperformance would continue, and it's prudent to probably add on fresh positions from here on?
See, in fact, yesterday also I've said, and we won't be comfortable in taking the position in the larger IT stocks. Maybe they are all moving up because of the currency weakness, the rupee seen weakening and the dollar is strengthening. Probably that is giving them the but if you take a general call, actually all of them, that's what the same point I've narrated a while back, that we have been seeing the exuberance now happening in the larger cap also. If it can happen in the mid and small cap with the wisdom prevailing at that time also, why it cannot happen with the larger caps? So yesterday also I've said that maybe in the on a selective basis you can take a call on few select mid cap IT stocks, like yesterday. In fact, I've said about Hexaware, Tata Elxsi, or maybe Persistent System kind of things. So we continue to remain our view only on these 2 or 3 stocks, and that too at the fall. The way we have been seeing today, the Tata Elxsi, which has been moving one way, has seen some kind of profit booking today. So maybe a select entry point can be made in keeping these 3 stocks, but we won't be taking a general positive view on the larger IT stocks, whether you talk of the HCL Tech, TCS, Infosys, or maybe Tech Mahindra.
All right, Mr. Tulsian, thanks a lot for joining us today. There's a press release from Biocon saying that this tie-up of Lupin with Mylan does not impact Biocon's relationship with Mylan, and their agreement is protected, so something like that. It's saying that
it's basically because Mylan and Biocon have a tie-up for a certain number of biosimilars, and that probably includes this as well. But Mylan has gone and tied up with Lupin on certain markets for this particular biosimilar. So maybe there is, we don't know the details of what the agreement would be between Biocon and Mylan with regards to this biosimilar. Maybe it's just for the US markets and not for the other markets like it is for Lupin and Mylan. So Biocon is just basically clarifying that their relationship with Mylan on this biosimilar is intact, and they would benefit from it.
So we don't know whether Biocon today fell because of that tie-up, but if it did, then Biocon is saying that their interests are quite intact, so they are not really worried too much about that. So that's Biocon. Let's do one thing. We'll take a break a bit early today because we want to be back for the BTSC calls and the 3 p.m. expiry mode.